From Cocaine Bear and Jenny the Donkey making an entry on stage, to Lady Gaga's stunning performance despite all the uncertainty, here are some of the most shocking moments from this year's Oscars. Let's start with Jamie Lee Curtis's surprise Oscar win and her brilliant reaction up first. Yeah, Everything Everywhere All at Once may have swept the Oscars this year, but it wasn't expected to win everything. Particularly when it comes to the category of Best Supporting Actress, Jamie Lee Curtis was not a favorite. For many, this award should have gone to Angela Bassett for her performance in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Others believe that Carrie Condon was probably also a deserving winner for her phenomenal role as Siobhan. However, like always, the Academy thought differently and decided to go with Jamie for this one. And honestly, I don't get it. You literally had Stephanie Hsu nominated for a much better performance in the same category for the same film. And you're going with Jamie Lee Curtis? Beats me. I can't say I was made up with that decision, but I probably reacted too early because her reaction was fantastic. And it was clear that even she was shocked. Jamie delivered an acceptance speech for the ages without boring the audiences. Understandably, after all, she's been around for 40 years without so much as an Academy Award nomination. But Curtis shouting, "Oh, shut up," was very raw and beautiful. Something that these award shows certainly aren't. But let's talk about another shocking moment from the supporting nomination. How about Ke Huy Quan? Also from EEAO? Oh, I loved this one. Do you remember Gwyneth Paltrow's acceptance speech, which has gone down in history as one of the most cringeworthy, right? This is exactly the opposite. And I couldn't be happier for Quan. A truly excited and deserving winner, Quan was the human embodiment of never giving up during the entire night. And it showcased how he'd finally gone from being a beloved child actor to a true leading figure in a film that swept the Oscars. Looking straight in the camera with tears flowing down his cheeks, Quan told everyone and anyone with a dream to never give up. It was a beautiful moment and easily my second favorite one from the night. But the best moment in this year's Oscars, the one that really stood out, was when Jimmy Kimmel brought Jenny the Donkey from The Banshees of Inisherin on stage. Although I maintain that Jenny should have been at the very least nominated for the supporting category, but having been snubbed in what remains one of the biggest snubs in the history of the Oscars, it was great to see Jenny actually making it to the Oscars all the way from Ireland. Not to mention the fact that Jenny was also probably the most well-dressed figure at the Oscars. Plus, it brought the biggest smile on Colin Farrell's face, which made the whole entrance worth it. But you'd be surprised to know that Jenny wasn't the only animal at the Oscars this year, because the Cocaine Bear went one step ahead and even presented an Oscar alongside Elizabeth Banks, the director of the film. There were some very funny moments at the Oscars this year, but few topped the combination of Banks and someone in a bear costume. While it was revealed later that Jimmy Kimmel was the someone, it was still hilarious and very fitting to see Banks' presentation of the visual effects category. After all, her hit film Cocaine Bear benefited big time from visual effects. However, they certainly didn't come close to the effort put in by the visual artists for Avatar: The Way of Water, who were very well rewarded for their brilliant work. And it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone, considering it took them 5 years and $500 million. But that said, as hilarious as this moment was, it doesn't hold a candle to the way this next performance electrified and shocked the audience. Yep, I'm talking about Naatu Naatu's bombastic display, and of course their well-deserved Oscar win for the Best Original Song as well. It also became the first time an Indian feature film had won an Oscar, as RRR took home the award for its electrifying song. But not before the dazzling dancers and many stars from the film lit up the floor at the Oscars and delivered an outstanding performance, which was so catchy that I still find myself humming along. However, the cherry on the cake was M.M. Keeravani taking home the Oscar alongside the lyricist Chandra Bose. And as good as that dance performance was, and as catchy as Natu Natu is, the most shocking song performance of the night came from Lady Gaga. And to fill you all in, there was a lot that went into the buildup of that performance. No one knew if she would actually show up to hold my hand at the Oscars. But not only did Gaga make it, she also delivered a very relaxed performance, changing into a simple t-shirt and jeans with little to no makeup at all. It went along with the theme of the song that anyone can be a hero. But perhaps more importantly, it was amazing to see the legendary diva produce a type of performance that doesn't come naturally to her. Maybe this is the next step in her transition from a singer to an actress. However, not everything went as smoothly in the Oscars as these two spectacular performances, because the playoff music was brutally heartless and gave us another insight into how much the technical categories are snubbed at the Oscars. Fresh off the laughs thanks to Jimmy Kimmel's entrance as Cocaine Bear with Elizabeth Banks, the audience saw the visual award winners Richard Bonham, Joe Lettieri, Eric Sandin, and Daniel Barrett make their way to the stage. However, the deserving winners were treated with a horrible manner, symbolizing just how Hollywood treats the other categories. Because the winners were cut off as soon as they accepted their awards, and had to make their acceptance speeches to the thank you cam backstage. And just like that, perhaps the greatest moment of their life was just stolen from them. Something which at least Brendan Fraser got to experience. Another shocking win led to probably the best moment of the night. Brendan Fraser's comeback to the industry was completed in great fashion. Fraser had been abandoned by the industry after he stated that he'd been sexually assaulted. Due to that, he endured a tough few years over the last decade or so. And when he was finally recognized, not only for his sensational performance in The Whale, but also for persevering, Fraser was overcome with emotion and told the audience to keep striving as he did to win the biggest prize of them all. It was a moment that felt wonderful, even cathartic to the people who saw him return, and felt like a win for everyone. But this wasn't the most shocking moment of the Oscars 2023, because the real shock was Michelle Yeoh becoming the only Asian actress ever to win Best Actress. For her magnificent performance in EEAO, undoubtedly Yeoh deserved the award, but the shocker was because of the well-known issue of representation at the Oscars. Unfortunately, the Academy is known for their bias. But for what it's worth, it was absolutely amazing to see Halle Berry, the only other woman of color to win Best Actress, present the award for Best Actress to Michelle Yeoh, the first Asian and the second woman of color to win it. Hopefully this opens the floodgates and more people from different cultures are honored at the Oscars. That's all I have on the most shocking moments from Oscars 2023.